Good morning, and thanks for getting up with us on this Sunday morning. It is 7 a.m. I'm Libby Dowsett alongside Daisy Caballero.
Good morning.
Stretching out, getting ready for the day ahead, and we have rain.
Yeah, we have rain for much of the day today, although we do have some dry periods expected. As we're looking at the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hour, cloudy conditions, unfortunately, not expecting to see really probably any sunshine. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but hopefully you did go outside and enjoy a little bit of that sunshine. But don't worry, more is on the way. I'll show you that in my full forecast in just a few minutes. But I wanted to take you out to Timberline Lodge. They've seen about an inch of snow within the last 24 hours, and I did actually see a few folks probably headed up to the slopes right now. And alongside some snow, of course, in those higher elevations, also experiencing some pretty heavy rain in some areas, especially with the rain cells that you're seeing highlighted in the yellow and then also in the orange as well. 46 degrees last checkout at PDX. Those winds are actually starting to gust up a little bit more, right about 13 miles an hour. These are sustained winds at this moment. Quick look at your current temperatures. 46 degrees for Troutdale, 42 for Happy Valley. Looking at the rest of our map, in the 30s for Hood River and the Dalles as well. Daytime highs are going to be a little bit chillier than what we experienced yesterday, so make sure to have that jacket or that sweater. 48 degrees for daytime high for Portland, 47 for Vancouver, and 50 degrees for Longview. Libby, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. Vancouver police make a third arrest as they look into a string of bank robberies. Saturday, detectives arrested a man they believe could be connected to two other suspects. 44-year-old Brian Von Duke allegedly robbed 3 Vancouver banks between September and October of this year, after Andrew Beckman and Amira Askew were charged with their roles in 10 other bank robberies. Police are still investigating all the cases and say Von Duke will likely see more charges added. Emotions continue to run high in the city of St. Helens as families deal with the fallout of a growing sex abuse scandal. Friday, Mayor-elect Jennifer Massey organized a town hall meeting to give parents a space to meet with elected leaders and talk about ways to keep kids safe. One option, advocating to change the law around mandatory reporting.
I think that there's a gap there. There is no criminal aspect for a mandatory reporter intentionally not reporting, and that is my big concern.
Eric Stearns, a choir teacher, and Mark Collins, a retired math teacher, were arrested and charged with sex abuse last week. Since then, the superintendent and the St. Helens High School principal were placed on leave and are being investigated by DHS for failure to report alleged abuse. 2 more staff members are also under state investigation for alleged abuse. And St. Helens police this week also started investigating a middle school teacher for their conduct toward students. All this kicked off after students shared their experiences on social media.
This culture has somehow gotten passed on from one generation to the next of not reporting and not keeping students safe.
And the governor has also taken notice. She vowed to escalate the state's engagement with the district and make a recommendation for an interim superintendent if the board does not appoint someone within 14 days. There is a looming budget deficit in Multnomah County. The county released its 5-year general fund forecast this week, and the deficit for the next fiscal year is not looking great. Celine Stevens takes a look.
We definitely have some hard times ahead of us.
A $21.2 million deficit is what county economist Jeff Renfro presented in the general fund forecast during this week's county board meeting. The main reason, payroll.
In the simplest terms, really, the county is paying people to do the work to implement our programs. So in our general fund, personnel costs are over 60% of our expenditures.
He says some of these programs include public safety, with the money being used to operate jails, other law enforcement components, the DA's office, and other health and human services. Renfro says for the county to continue funding regular services, they would need around $30 million in new revenue. Property taxes in 2026 are only expected to bring in about $8 million.
Property owners are unable to get people to rent space in their buildings. Over time, they have difficulty making debt payments. If they owe debt on their building, those buildings end up getting sold and sold for values that are lower than they were pre-pandemic. And that works its way under the property tax roll and leads to lower property tax revenue for us.
Data from Portland Metro Chamber shows Portland's Central City office vacancy has soared since 2020.
And now that, with COVID and remote virtual working, that I just don't see that that's ever going to come back to the way it was before.
During the meeting, Commissioner Julia Brim-Edwards said the city and county need to take strong steps to address homelessness and other major issues in town to prevent more businesses from leaving.
There's a direct correlation between the economic health and the conditions in the county and actually the resources that we have.
Because a lot of our personnel cost increases are dictated by inflationary factors that are outside of our control. We really don't have a lot of levers that we can pull other than evaluating the level of programming we deliver to the community.
There is still a long budget process ahead, with the final budget being approved in June. Renfro says community members will also have the ability to testify in front of the board and provide feedback. In Albany, school district leaders and the local teachers union met again Saturday. Before that, hundreds of parents and students held a rally in support of the ongoing strike, which is about to enter its third week. On Friday, the union said progress had been made with the mediator, but a teacher has also filed charges accusing the district of holding secret meetings and trying to pressure parents to reduce their support. There is no school all of next week due to planned days off and the Thanksgiving holiday.